All right, well, I'm going to do a video here for 2013 Kia Optima LX. I've been noticing some noise as I've been going up and down the road, especially on any gravel road where making kind of a popping noise. I thought it was a shock or a strut, but once I got the wheel off and got in here, it looks more like a tie rod end. You can kind of see when you go like this, if you wiggle on it, you can hear that. That's because this joint right here, the outer tie rod end, is getting worn and loose in there, causing quite a wobble, which is also causing some uneven tire wear. So what I've got started here, I went ahead and took the caliper off. One thing I like to do is I just clamp it off the brake line with the vice grips. That way you don't drain all that brake fluid out of there. And then I just bent it up here out of the way. That gives you easier access to the tie rod end here. And another thing I like to do when I do this is I know I'm going to be taking that joint apart right there, so I spray it with some little penetrating oil. Get that loosening up while you're working on the rest of it. And the other thing, I put a jack up underneath the wheel here so that you can jack that up, which will take a little less pressure off of your tie rod end here. And then once you take this nut off, you should just be able to hit down here with a hammer and that'll pop right loose. All right, so I got the wheel jacked up a little bit. This is a 14 millimeter crown nut, I think they call it. So I'm gonna try to zip it off here quick. All right, well, I accidentally hit the power button while I was recording that, but hopefully you saw that that pop out of there. And anyway, nothing to it. Now, once you have this off, it's a good idea to count your number of threads you have there. So that way you can get the tie rod at the exact same spot. Otherwise, your wheels are going to be out of adjustment, and you might need to get an alignment after this anyway, but this will get it really, really close if you count the threads and put it back at the same spot. So this is how you take apart this connection here. I don't have metric wrenches big enough, but 15/16 is about right for this. But you put one wrench up on that lock nut and then one down on the tie rod end itself, and the whole thing will spin inside on the inner tie rod, so that's why you got to have the two. If this doesn't work, you probably have to use like a cheater pipe or something. I know I probably will. All right, so once you crack that connection loose, you just spin this all the way off, and that's about it. You can put the new one back on. In my case, the lock nut didn't move, so once I get the new one on, it should be in the exact right position. I'll get this put back in there. It's hard to do while holding the camera, but when I wiggled on this tie rod end, you can feel a little looseness inside there, so it's clearly wearing out. So, all right, so I cleaned that up a little bit, put a little Loctite on it. Now I'm gonna put the new tie rod end on. All right, now I'm gonna tighten that up, pop it up in there. All right, so I got that tightened up. Now I'm gonna tighten the crown nut on here. If I had the right size. Let's see, the new crown nut must be different. Yeah, so the new crown nut is a 17. All right, now we'll tighten it up. Now it came with the little pin you stick through. Let's see. You gotta find the hole here. I'm gonna need some more light. I'll be back. All right, so I had to get some light in here, but basically got that pin put in, and we're tightened up. So let me give it a little rattle here. Yeah, now it's sturdy, because before the whole strut was going back and forth a little bit as I pull on the rotor, but now the only rattle I hear now is coming from my jack, so we're nice and tight. So I'm gonna put the caliper back on and go for a test drive.